which it was a bank heist though, I think. Yeah, they robbed a bank in Los Angeles. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the North Hollywood bank robbery. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, no, this is crazy. I mean, I don't know why he would. I don't know why he's kind of making it seem like a movie could get someone motivated to do such an act. It's a ridiculous take. Like, top of the hour ad breaks turn people into loving ads. You know what I mean? When we all know that that's not how it works. And there is a quick fix for the top of the hour ad breaks where you can, subscribe or use VPN or an ad blocker if you no longer want to see the ads. And you can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. So, there is also that. But here's the 1 minute ad break now. I'm not lying. My childhood best friend did the Hollywood bank robbery. What the fuck?
He bombs the police station and then kills as many people as he can. The worst part about the movie, spoiler alert, just in case you want to watch it.
This isn't real.
Trust me, you don't want to watch it. Is that he gets away with it. He somehow frames his only friend, and at the end of the movie, he takes off to go commit another killing spree somewhere else. The movie...
Yeah, the robbery, the North Hollywood robbery is literally the reason why automatic weapons were banned.
Became a source of inspiration and helped the two cultivate their ultimate plan. They didn't just want to become famous for mass murder. They wanted to be famous for having killed the most people. They wanted to travel across the country, racking up a kill count in the hundreds.
Did you guys talk about being on the news and getting to see each other on TV and stuff?
Yeah.
What kind of things did you say and talk about?
Mostly about how we were planning on killing more people.
Yeah.
And we become famous, we get on Wikipedia lists.
Oh, okay.
People.
That'd be a big deal, yeah. I mean, do you think they might even make a movie or something, or a TV show?
I don't know about a movie or TV show, but...
Did you guys talk about that?
Yeah, definitely documentaries and stuff. He just wanted to be famous.
What did you want?
Me?
Mm-hmm. You keep talking about what he wanted. What did you want?
No, I just wanted to get my winners pool. Get a job.
But your big brother's telling me he wants to be famous, and you guys are making these plans. Surely you want some of that fame too, right?
Yeah, I do want to do it with him because, he's going to do it no matter what. He says if I don't do it with him, they'll just kill me too.
They specifically wanted a Wikipedia page about themselves. Ironically, if you search for them on Wikipedia, you won't find any articles specifically about them. What you will find is an article titled Broken Arrow Killings, which describes the event, but doesn't really focus on Robert and Michael. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I like that it's a subtle slap in their faces. Robert had a job working for Micah Tech, which was a Christian call center where people could call in and the person working on the phone would pray with them.
Oh my God.
This gave him money to start funding their plans. He started ordering parts to put together a full set of body armor for both himself and Michael. Both boys began collecting knives, something that Crystal had told her parents she was uncomfortable with. They brushed it off as normal boy behavior and didn't intervene in the boy's hobby. They were also aware that he bought a bulletproof vest, but didn't seem to think that was unusual.
How long have you had the body armor?
Fucking Oklahoma, by the way. Like, literally. That's half of this is just Oklahoma. Toxic masculinity, assumption that, of course boys are gonna have, violent behavior and, will go purchase, a bunch of murder weapons, stuff like that. If they're not hunting regularly and have no other use for the knives, then it's kind of suspicious. How do you homeschool your children and aren't aware that they're going crazy? A gun would be easier to explain than a bulletproof vest. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's there's a lot of kids that want to be tactical, right?
The body armor? Robert's had his probably since it started ago, and we've been buying it. Well, he's been buying it.
And was Was it shipped to the house?
Yeah.
Do your parents know? I mean, did they know it?
They knew he had bulletproof vests. They always thought that was a little loud, but they never said anything about it.
Did he have anything else like the gear that the guys wear, helmets or goggles or gloves?
He had a soft Kevlar vest, a heavy, I don't know, it's like a metal plated vest, level 3A and a level 3A. He had a helmet, bulletproof helmet, a bulletproof DEA mask, and one goes.
Wow.
Also like a knife proof
Arm thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Knife and bullet level.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
and then the body armor that you had, what was it like?
it was almost identical.
Okay.
Just a couple different different models and stuff.
And where is your body armor now?
All my vests and my helmets, it was laying in the woods. The dog pulled it off of me.
Oh,
I was wearing it.
Oh, you were wearing it?
Yeah, I was wearing this vest and the plate carrier and helmet. So I took that, and the rest of my body armor was still in the closet.
Okay.
What their parents didn't realize was that Robert was also purchasing guns and ammunition. Once he turned 18, he realized that he was able to purchase guns, and the two began planning.
Tell me more about making plans and what you guys talked about.
Making plans, we plotted every night, and I started realizing we were actually going to do this thing on the second night. And so I started getting ready.
When was that? You second night? What do you mean?
July 1st.
Okay.
Because we started June 30th.
That's when you...
Again, normal Oklahoma behavior to be able to purchase weapons, you know, just can't purchase beer, can purchase weapons. Very normal, very cool stuff.
You started making the plan?
Yeah, that's where we found out you could buy guns legally.
I see. Did you guys make drawings or write things down? Or
I think he had a journal. Basically, I think he's had his down. I think it's under his bed.
Under his
I
bed?
haven't checked out.
Is it like a journal, like a notepad or like
Yeah,
a book?
it's like a blank book.
Okay.
A black book. I think it's like a little case or
So
something.
you think he wrote stuff in there?
Yeah, I think he was planning in it.
So then the second day you said that's when you realized that it might actually happen?
Yeah.
What made you realize that?
How serious he was. I mean, he was going through. He started planning on taking all of his money out of his bank and throwing away all his stuff. So
Why did he want to do it?
That kill people.
Yeah.
Well, it's mainly two reasons. I think it's because he just he says he hates everyone. He thinks society is pointless, and so he wanted to kill people.
Now,
And also he wanted to beat the kill amount of other famous people like Columbine and James Egan Holmes.
It sounds like Robert was able to purchase guns online and have them shipped to a gun store where he would be able to pick them up. At some point before the murders, a gun store employee called Robert to let him know that a shotgun and 2 Glock pistols were ready for pickup. He planned to pick them up the day after the murders. Robert then ordered thousands of rounds of ammunition to be delivered to their house. Now, you may be asking, how are his parents not going to notice thousands of rounds of ammunition showing up at their home? Well, that was the beginning of the plan. They were going to murder their family and use the house to receive the ammo, then steal the family's GMC Yukon and go on their road trip of...
I moved to Italy from here, and I don't know if that was a good decision. What do you mean? You moved away from America to Italy, and you don't know if it was a good decision? While we're watching a fucking video about how easy it is to purchase guns in Oklahoma? No, I think you're doing all right, probably. Okay? Did I misunderstand it? Oh, he moved. I mean, no, he's from Italy and moved here. Okay, but that's not what he wrote. Did I miss? What's not all right is your reading comprehension. Dude, he literally didn't write it like that. Did I misread it? He did? I could have misread. I thought he actually said... Wait. I moved to Italy from here, and I don't know if that was a good decision. Fuck you, chat. Absolutely fuck you. You're still doing it too. I see it on the other screen. I literally see it. I literally see it. You guys are such fucking dumbasses. So incredibly horny. So incredibly horny to just be like, streamer is so stupid. Streamer is so stupid. Smooth brain Azan. Like, 6-month subscriber, Smooth brain Azan. No, he wrote it right, says Bayran. 13-month subscriber. Why the fuck are you so fucking horny to just be like, you misread Keck W? Why? Chat is genuinely embarrassing as fuck more and more. It's so weird, dude. Why do you guys do this? It is fucking remarkable that, like, it is remarkable that you guys, like, in an almost coordinated attack, you literally just try to fucking gaslight me. Even after you have caught, even after you've been caught. So fucking stupid, man.
Killing.
Tell me what plans you started making and coming up with.
Well, originally, I think kind of stayed steady throughout the month. Is we wanted to kill everyone at the house first.
Okay.
And then wait for all the packages to show up over the weekend. And then we take the Yukon and we get out of our state with the guns and stuff.
Okay.
So rampaging.
Did you know where you were going to drive to?
Towards Washington.
Washington State or DC?
Washington State.
Washington State. Why would you go to Washington State?
Just kind of, it's kind of the direction you.
And you said Yukon. Did your parents have like a Yukon? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a large Yukon XL.
Does Robert have a driver's license?
He has a motor spoon.
Okay. So he would be able to drive it. Can you drive if you had to?
No, I couldn't.
This kid doesn't even know how to drive a car, and he's planning on traveling across the country to commit mass murder. They actually picked the date they would murder their family based on when the ammo would arrive at their house.
You picked a date, you said.
Yeah, which was yesterday night. That was the date.
Did you pick a time and everything?
Yep, yeah, midnight when most everyone was in bed except for Mom.
So how did you guys know? He just came and got you, or you got him, or what did you guys do?
We were hanging out in our bedroom waiting.
Okay. And so
How did you pick the date?
They were holding on with the packages and stuff that we have. Because, all the ammunition, he didn't want them to see that. So we killed him the day before the ammunition got held, the day after the move.
Robert had been taking money out of the bank and putting it away in their room. He had a notebook under his bed where he made notes about the plan. They sat down and specifically plotted out exactly how they were going to kill each family member one by one. The plan was to wait until the whole family was asleep the night before the ammo was to be delivered. Then, Michael was going to use a small crossbow to quietly shoot his father in the head. Then they were going to go room by room and kill the other members of their family with a knife.
So who were you supposed to kill?
I was supposed to take my pistol crossbow. He was supposed to shank his, she was supposed to die quietly. Yeah, she was going to be the first one, she was. And then Robert would go in, slit Mom's throat, push her over with him, and both go in and kill. And get to it.
Because they were supposed to be like quiet. Right?
Yeah, I was supposed to go with it. And then I would go upstairs and shoot David, Dad, and the guy with my pistol crossbow would kill him, and then Robert would go over and kill him.
Okay.
So did you use your crossbow at all?
No. The only time I ever heard anybody.
I got it. Yeah, you made a mistake. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You already made a mistake by moving to Oklahoma from Italy. But and then you made another mistake in the chat. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I read it correctly. I'm more upset with the way that, like, this community, I'm more upset with the way that this community literally fucking acts like, so Azan is wrong. No, I read it correctly, and I said, why would you do that? And you guys said, no, he actually didn't write that. And now chat is still saying we're right. Dude, you guys are so weird, man. Why are you guys so fucking weird? Chat said I misread what his statement was when I was confused by why his statement was strange. How do you let 30K people in your life like this, bro? Is wild. Yeah, it's usually wonderful, except for whenever chat thinks it has an opportunity to get one off on streamer, like when they're like, you were fucking wrong and we were right. So they just like collectively get super horny to act like they were right all along.
Was gonna stab Christopher in the neck.
Did Robert use your crossbow?
No, it's just saying. Sorry.
Where is your crossbow?
I think it's on my bed still, unless they collected it.
So did you have it out ready to go, and then it just kind of didn't go as planned?
Yeah, no, nothing is planned.
Yeah.
It seems as though they believed that stabbing someone would instantly kill them. Michael wrote in his confession, quote, "The plan was first at around 12 a.m. to
Bro,
put..."
he can't even write properly, dude.
"On our gear, and Robert would kill April Bever, and then I would kill Crystal and Victoria. Then go upstairs and both kill David Bever and the baby. Then go downstairs and Robert would kill Daniel and Chris. Then wait a couple of days and leave the state and begin the spree." End quote. Sometime between 11 and 11:30 on the night of July 22nd, 2015, Michael and Robert were in the bedroom that they shared and decided that now was the time to put their plan in motion.
Bro, this kid had no life experience, and the only thing that he had, the only contact that he had with the outside world was video games and the internet. I think that's probably why he thought people die by like one knife hit, like, because he probably played Call of Duty, you know what I mean? That, of course, doesn't mean that like video games cause violence or anything like that. But if the only outside world interaction that you have is like uncontrolled internet access and video games, then you know you're gonna develop a very weird understanding of how everything works, especially if you're also simultaneously being homeschooled and they're not even letting you around other children.
According to Michael's account, he went out into the living room and told his sister, Crystal, that he wanted to show her something on his computer. As she came into the room and stood by Michael's desk, Robert attacked.
So she sat down at your desk, and he slit her throat, you said?
Well, she was standing at my desk and came up behind, and so...
I don't mean to like ignorantly give the game away, but I heard your name gets passed around in chat rooms so they can try and bait you often. Don't react, maybe. I don't know. What chat rooms? Let me know.
With you, and then she fell down screaming.
And then he stabbed her some more? When he was stabbing her some more, where was he stabbing her?
Her neck.
Oh, her neck.
Her neck and her stomach.
Stomach, okay.
And then my mom came in, and she started yelling, "Call the police, get dad." And then we came over and started attacking her. They actually got up and ran out the front too.
Wow.
And once mom was on the ground, he got up and started chasing after her.
And what were you doing? Did you come out in the hallway?
According to Crystal, she had gone into their bedroom on her own to tell both of them that their mother wanted them to do the dishes. When she went in their room, she saw them putting on body armor and that they had an assortment of knives laid out on the bed. She heard Michael say, quote, "Should we do it right now?" End quote. To which Robert replied, quote, "Yes." End quote. Michael asked Crystal to look at something on his computer, and when she did, Robert came up behind her and slit her throat. Robert was under the impression that slitting her throat would kill her quickly and silently, but a lifetime of action movies had lied to him, and Crystal began screaming. The screams from Crystal alerted their mother, and when Robert turned his attention to her, Crystal was able to run out of the room. The girl was able to get out of the house and collapsed in the driveway. April began screaming for someone to call the police before Robert began stabbing her with the same knife and eventually pushed her into the kitchen where he continued stabbing her in the neck. At this point, the house erupted into chaos. After Robert was finished with his mother, he went out the front door, grabbed Crystal, and dragged her back onto the front porch.
What was his name? What was that chatter's name? What was that chatter's name? Don't fucking hide him. You filter curb.
He then went to find the younger kids and told Michael to bring Crystal back inside. Michael dragged his sister back into the house and left her lying in the entryway. He must have locked the door because authorities said it was locked when they arrived at the scene. Christopher had locked himself into the bathroom with their sister, Victoria. Michael went up to the door and pretended to be trying to hide from Robert, telling them that they needed to let him in. When Christopher opened the door, Michael went in and stabbed the two to death. Daniel had locked himself in their father's office, which was right next to the bathroom. He had managed to get Michael's cell phone and called 911 at 11:32 p.m.
Broken 911. Broken Arrow 911. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, where are you at?
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma 7411.
What address?
709 Magnolia Court.
Okay. Are you the only one there?
No, my brother's attacking my family.
Your dad is attacking your family?
No, my brother.
Okay, who's attacking your family?
What?
Who's attacking your family?
Yes.
Who is it?
Okay, so we learned that dispatchers don't do this to be fucking stupid or annoying. They do this so they keep you... No, the dispatchers do this on purpose so they keep you on the line. One, to keep you hyper-focused on them rather than their surroundings and not fucking freak out and do something bad. And two, so that they can actually keep them on the line to triangulate their location. I originally always thought dispatchers were so fucking stupid and like literally just constantly were just like, I don't know what you're saying. Turns out it's like deliberate. I also still don't understand why they do it like this though, instead of just like, you know, calming them down or maybe just like talking about other stuff. I don't fucking know. Like, I feel like there's a better way. I feel like there's a better way to do this rather than just like, I don't know. Wait, who's attacking your family? Who's attacking your family? Who's attacking your family?
Do they?
Like what? How is the weather? Are you in a safe location right now? Is it possible for you to get to a safe location right now? But I get that could be a legal hurdle too, though, probably, because that could be seen as like giving advice. But I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that you could definitely ask. How many people are there? How many people are in the house? Are you injured? Instead of just like asking the same question over and over again. How does that help?
Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, what's going on there? What's going on there? Hello? Hello?
Not applause.
Michael used the same ruse to get Daniel to open the door, and when he did, he took the phone from him and smashed it. Michael told Robert, quote, "He's all yours," end quote. Robert stabbed Daniel multiple times, and when Robert let him go, he ran away, but collapsed in the living room where he died. David was asleep upstairs, and when he was finally awoken by the commotion, he came downstairs. When he saw the horror that was going on in the home, he charged Robert. Unfortunately, Robert managed to stab his father in the chest as he came at him, and David fell to the floor. Robert continued stabbing his father to death. Almost as soon as they had killed everyone, or so they believed, there was a knock at the front door. They didn't know who it was and thought it might be a neighbor, so they grabbed a backpack and fled out the back door. They ran through some woods to a creek behind their house. When police arrived on the scene, they knocked on the door, and when they heard a faint voice inside saying, "Help me," Detective Brett Burton kicked in the door and they found Crystal Bever lying in the entryway in a pool of blood. They picked her up and took her out where paramedics were already on the scene. The city of Broken Arrow has about 100,000 residents and is the fourth largest city in the state. It only has a murder happen once every couple of years, so when
Above ground pools.
something like this happens, they call out everyone to the scene. All detectives, canine units, firefighters, paramedics, all hands on deck. Crystal made it to the paramedics, who had no idea how she was still alive, but she was, so they got her stabilized and to the hospital where she was rushed into surgery. Despite multiple stab wounds, a slit throat, and excessive blood loss, Crystal survived the attack. 52-year-old David had 28 stab wounds to his back, neck, chest, and abdomen. 44-year-old April had 48 stab wounds to her neck,
That'll do
face, arms, chest, and abdomen. 12-year-old Daniel had 21 stab wounds to his back, neck, head, and chest. 7-year-old Christopher had 21 stab wounds to his back, chest, head, and neck. 5-year-old Victoria had 23 stab wounds to her back, neck, chest,
dude.
face, and abdomen. The Broken Arrow police walked into the scene of a horror movie. Blood was smeared everywhere, and they didn't know if the attackers were still in the house. They found both April and Daniel first, and since they didn't know if they were still alive or not, they carried them both out of the house to the paramedics. They were pronounced dead at the scene. They turned a corner and found David lying on the floor. They said they could tell that he was dead, so they continued to the back of the house, where they found a locked bathroom door. Normally, a locked door at a scene like this means there's a suspect who has barricaded himself in the room. Due to what they were finding at the scene, they didn't want to take the chance on there being someone in there that needed help, and Officer Walker kicked in the door. Inside, they found the bodies of Christopher and Victoria, both stabbed to death and left in a pool of blood on the bathroom floor. Crime scene investigator Jackie Smithson said it was the worst thing he had ever seen. Police made their way upstairs and cleared the rooms one by one. When they got to the last room, they found a baby girl lying in her crib, not moving. When they checked on her, they found that she had been unharmed. 2-year-old Autumn had been fast asleep during the entire incident. Robert and Michael had forgotten about her before they fled the house, and fortunately didn't have time to discover her and complete their plan,
my fucking
which is
God.
good because according to court documents, their plan was to cut off her head. After the house was cleared, police discovered the back door was ajar and believed that their suspects must have fled out the back. Using canine units to track their scent, Robert and Michael were quickly discovered hiding in some brush near the creek. When police commanded them to show their hands and come out, Robert complied right away, but Michael hesitated. Officers released the dog, who instantly grabbed Michael by the shoulder, prompting him to come out of the bushes. He can be seen in the arrest photos with a torn shirt and bite marks on his shoulder. Robert was still wearing his body armor, but Michael had taken his off and it was lying on the ground between their house and where they were found. When the brothers were arrested, they were photographed for evidence and Michael has a vacant look on his face, like he
I'll show you that part at least. There's blood. There's a little bit of blood. I just want to make sure that you see, or dude, how the fuck do you do this to your own family? I mean, there's got to be a look. I mean, there's definitely, look, I'm not victim blaming, but given how young these kids are, given how young they were when they engaged these sorts of actions, like, and how gruesome the fucking murders are, it's a little bit different than what the Asian girl had done to her parents and like with her boyfriend. And it feels like there was a little bit more abuse or something that got them to operate this way. Jennifer Pan, yeah. They didn't really talk about this, but like, I mean, it could be pure psychopathy, but anyway.
Didn't really care one way or the other that he just murdered his family. Robert, on the other hand, actually looks quite happy. He has a smirk on his face like he just passed a test. As police went to put them in separate patrol cars, Robert looked over at Michael and said, quote, "It's been a pleasure. I'm proud of what I've done." End quote. On the night of the murders, a neighbor, Julie Wallace, informed police that the family had a dog. Their Dachshund Chihuahua mix wasn't found until later the following afternoon, and she was given to Julie to care for. Julie said that the dog, who she has since renamed Sally, is still frightened anytime they're screaming on the television. Back at the police station, both Robert and Michael talk openly about their plans. For reasons I couldn't find, Robert's interrogation was sealed, but Michael's remained available. While talking to detectives...
Oh, yeah, no, they didn't want to just kill their own family. They wanted to kill a bunch of people. I'm saying that, like, you don't become a psychopathic mass murderer without, like, some kind of neglect or abuse, usually. Like, there has to be a little bit more than just, like there has to be something that had to have been a trigger, you know?
Detective Burton, he tried to downplay his involvement in the murders. His story involves Robert running around the house stabbing everyone with himself just standing by. He disabled the home alarm when Crystal went out the front door and helped bring her back into the house. Eventually, he admits to stabbing Christopher once, but tries to say that Robert did everything else and he only participated because Robert said he would kill him if he didn't.
So everybody that you killed and every single stab wound that you inflicted, we're going to know about. And this is your last chance to just kind of let us know, to be honest.
Why did Charlie Watts kill his family then? There's a motive there. There's a motive here too, which is fame, which is not the same as a motive for Charlie Watts, who wanted to get away from his family with his and start a new life. Or a motive for Jennifer Pan was like collecting life insurance money, or Charlie Watts, sorry, Chris Watts. There was I thought the person said Charlie Watts, so I was just reading off what he was saying. Regardless. Chat, fucking calm down. I misspoke, man. Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on, dude? Calm down, dude. Yeah, I misspeak a lot. It's holy fuck, dude. So weird.
The man up and tell us exactly what she did and start making it right.
I hit Christopher. I not stabbed Victoria with Daniel.
You did not stab Victoria.
I tried to stab her.
You stabbed him off.
When she was walking away, I tried to go for a knife, but,
Is that when you cut yourself then?
Yeah, I think after that.
Where did you stab her?
I tried to go through behind it, cut her whole body.
Did you cut her?
I think so, yeah.
This doesn't seem like something you have to think about. I know you're still kind of dealing with it. And I wasn't there, I wasn't the one doing it, but you don't have to think about it. You know what you did. So you cut her neck, you stabbed Christopher in the neck. How many times did you stab Christopher?
2 or 3, I think.
And who else did you stab?
Besides Mom.
Because here's the thing, everybody's been stabbed, and you both had knives, and we know you both stabbed everybody. So you guys are kind of at the same level, and so now it's who's going to be honest and make this right, and who's a liar? Okay, which one do you want to
I'm
be?
not.
Okay, so you're a man of your word?
Yes.
Okay.
Now he claims he stabbed Christopher 2 or 3 times. Unfortunately for Michael, Robert's story doesn't match. While they talk to Robert, he is proud of the people he killed. He wants credit for all of his evil deeds, so why would he give Michael credit for killing people if he hadn't actually killed them? Both of the brothers were charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Michael's defense lawyer, Rob Nye.
Dude, the only thing that stopped these kids from killing more was the fact that their guns had not arrived. Like, if their guns had arrived, instead of murdering their own family, they would have waited to, like, probably go somewhere fucking crowded and use said weapons. That's crazy. Oh.
Filed a motion to try their client as a juvenile, but Oklahoma state law says that 15 to 17-year-olds are
Or
to
not
be
the
tried.
guns, sorry, the bullets had not arrived. The little brother called the police, he stopped them. Well, that too, but I'm saying that, like, if their bullets had arrived, they probably would not have, if their bullets had arrived at the time and they had weapons, they could have changed their strategy, and instead of like immediately going off and murdering their fucking families, like they could have tried to maximize the amount of kills
as an adult if they're charged with first-degree murder. His motion was denied. On June 17, 2016, while both of the brothers were being held in the jail medical unit, segregated from each other, Robert tried to commit suicide. He had tied a sheet around his neck, with the other end tied to his bed.
I guess their strategy was to kill their family before the bullets arrived, because the bullets arriving was going to cause suspicion in the family. I get that. I'm saying, like, I'm glad that they were, too stupid to not wait for the bullets.
Tried to hang himself, but was unsuccessful. Since Robert was 18 at the time of the murders, he was eligible for the death penalty. In an effort to save Crystal from having to testify in court, on September 7th, District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler offered Robert a deal to take the death penalty off the table if he pleaded guilty to all counts. Robert took the deal and was given 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole to be served consecutively, plus another life term. The state assumed that Michael would also take a deal, especially since he tended to follow the lead of his older brother, but he didn't. Michael pleaded not guilty and brought the case to trial. At the trial, Robert testified for the defense, and his story.
Defense attorney stated that David Bever was physically and verbally abusive towards his children, according to Crystal Bever's testimony. Robert Bever claimed that both of his parents were hateful and abusive to him and all of his siblings. He said his parents would often talk about people they hated and would refer to the biblical apocalypse as a retribution thing for everything they hated about the world. Most sane evangelical family in Oklahoma, it feels like.
Story did not match what he said during his interrogation. He claimed that after he stabbed Crystal in the neck, Michael turned around and said, quote, "Robert, what are you doing?" End quote.
Yes, dude. I leaked my fucking Hasanabi updates Discord, dude. Crazy leak. You guys caught me. Y'all are being so annoying today, dude. What the fuck?
He told the jury that Michael had only convinced the younger children to open the locked doors, but never stabbed anyone. Michael's knife had his own blood on the handle. He said in his interrogation that he thinks he cut himself when he stabbed his mother. The knife also had blood from his mother and his father. Michael had claimed that Robert had killed their mother, which gave Crystal time to run away. But according to testimony from Crystal, Robert immediately ran after her and caught her in the driveway, and Michael is the one who killed April. Both Robert and Crystal testified that there was physical abuse in the house. Robert described his father yelling at Michael about his speech impediment. He claimed that one time, out of frustration for Michael's stutter, he shook the boy and yelled, quote, "Stop and don't talk until you can speak clearly," end quote. He said there were occasions where David would punch or kick Michael. Crystal said that David threw the kids across the room in the past, and one time overheard her parents talking about being too rough on Robert and Michael when they were younger. Robert.
So the reason why I said there had to have been at least some kind of abuse, and I was right, is because oftentimes, like, kids who are psychopathic don't fully manifest into like those tendencies, or don't fully develop into like exercising those urges that they might have as violent psychopaths do before they get to like an older age. Like 25 to 27 is when a lot of people start developing, or rather a lot of people start experiencing the mental health complications that they have. So when you see someone who's like that young, that could have accelerated the process for them. You can't be diagnosed with ASPD/psychopathy until age 18. Before 18, you get diagnosed with conduct disorder usually. They didn't just kill their... I'm not saying they were... Guys. I'm not saying that these kids were looking to avenge their abusers, like they were looking for vengeance. I'm saying that their abusive parents must have triggered like at least psychopathic behavior in one of the kids. It's an important distinction.
Robert believed that his parents were paranoid and wouldn't let them be around any strangers. They had cameras around the house, but the cameras didn't record. They just allowed David to monitor the house from his phone at all times. On May 10, 2018, Michael Bevers was found guilty of 5 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Michael was scheduled for sentencing on July 24th, where he made a statement saying, quote, "Every minute and every second, I've been thinking about what I could have done different and what kind of life I could have had with my family," end quote. Judge Sharon Holmes put off sentencing until August 9th in order...
It does feel like he was totally just following the lead of his brother, and his brother like was the one who... I mean, it's obvious that the YouTuber wants us to feel that way too, because of the way that he described how different each kid looked when they got arrested, but...
to give herself more time to think about her decision. When August 9th came, the judge sentenced Michael to 5 life sentences with the possibility of parole, plus a 28-year sentence for the attempted murder of Crystal, but the sentences are to be served consecutively, so it's likely he will spend the rest of his life in prison. This sentence went against the jury's recommendation to give Michael a chance at parole after 38 years, and the defense believed it violated state rules against sentencing juveniles to life sentences. Michael's lawyer filed an appeal on the grounds that 5 consecutive...
That doesn't mean he's innocent, boys. He stabbed his fucking baby sisters. Like, he participated in the stabbing of his parents and his sisters. Okay, that's not an excuse. I'm not giving any sort of excuse here to either of these kids.
Life sentences, even with parole, is still in fact a life sentence. People under the age of 18 are unable to be sentenced to mandatory life sentences on the grounds that it violates the 8th Amendment's prohibition of cruel and unusual punishment. I would argue that being stabbed to death is cruel and unusual punishment. Why is Michael immune from receiving the same sentence he carried out on his own family? Supreme Court Judge Gary Lumpkin said that children accused of multiple violent crimes should not get a volume discount on the sentence imposed. He said that the decision on consecutive or concurrent is within the discretion granted to trial courts. The Supreme Court ruled 3-2 in favor of upholding the sentence. Michael will spend the rest of his life in prison. The Bever home sat on the market for years, with nobody willing to purchase the heavily stigmatized house. The neighbors worried that the home would continue to be an eyesore on the community and continue to attract looky-loos who wanted to see the house where the Bever family was murdered.
Looky-loos.
On March 18, 2017, the house was destroyed in a fire. Authorities believe it was arson. No shit. But they have no leads as to who may have set the fire. A month after the fire, the city of Broken Arrow raised the funds to purchase the property where the Bever home sat and turn it into a memorial garden.
The park that we have designed, the park department has designed, is a place that brings healing and tranquility. So we hope that eventually the first responders that came to this property, and even maybe years from now, the siblings that survived, could come by here in remembrance of the family members lost and provide some.
Bro, I fucking doubt any of those siblings want to be around.
Some healing for them. I just want you to know that in Broken Arrow,
Two of the siblings survived. The first, I think older sister survived having her throat slit, and then the young baby that was in a crib that they forgot about, luckily.
Oklahoma, we will not let evil overcome good. And I just wanted to finish with a quote that I found that says, "Good will always prevail over evil, no matter how much evil attempts to break you. More than that, you are never truly in darkness. Sometimes all you need to do is turn on the light." Today in Broken Arrow, we're turning on the light.
This house has been, in more ways than anybody other than the neighbors will know, just, yes, a constant reminder. I'm almost positive that in the future it would be a constant reminder for those surviving victims. We're proud to say, because we maintain a beautiful relationship with the extended family, we have their blessing on this. It is the right thing to do. It's time to turn the light on.
In May of 2018, the home was demolished and the city began work, transforming the property into a garden. The garden was dedicated on March 27, 2019.
As the mayor said, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today to support the city's efforts to help our community heal after obviously a major tragedy that we had back in 2015. I do want to recognize, as I'm sure other members that are going to speak today, to talk more specifically about those that have contributed. But for me, anytime that you can add a park to your community, whether it's a passive park or it's an active park, it's always a really good thing. And what I'm most impressed about this park is the fact that it was a partnership between the public sector and the private sector to help this neighborhood and our community heal from that tragedy back in 2015. I just want to say, on behalf of the city staff and also the city council, thank you to everyone that contributed to this park. I think it's going to be something that folks in this neighborhood and the community will be able to enjoy for many years to come.
On July 15, 2019, Robert Bever attempted to attack prison staff with an 8-inch-long sharpened instrument. The incident report states that 2 prison staff members were standing in the day room at Joseph Harp Correctional Center in Lexington, Oklahoma. Robert approached them from behind and tried to attack, but one of the officers got him in a bear hug and ordered him to drop the weapon. He complied with that command and the commands to get on the ground. I guess he's learned the hard way that killing isn't so easy when your target isn't an innocent little kid. He was written up and the incident will go in his prison records, but what are they going to do? Give him more time? All information about Crystal or Autumn's whereabouts has been sealed for their protection. Hopefully, they're in a safe place and are getting the help and support they need. If you're the victim of domestic abuse, please reach out to someone for help. Please call the National Domestic Abuse Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233, or go to thehotline.org to chat with someone online. The great thing about this website is that, at any time, hitting the escape key twice will instantly take your browser to a Google search page. In the event the abuser is nearby, you can assure that you don't get caught trying to get help. If you're having feelings of harming yourself or someone else, or even just need someone to talk to, please contact your local mental health facility, call 911, or call Mental Health America, who operate the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Be safe. Thanks so much for watching.
Dude, this channel is really good. This channel is really, 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 really good. I actually liked the way that they cover the stories a lot. There is another one from Beside the Dying Fire on this Mountie that killed another cop. That's kind of interesting as well. Narrator's kind of sassy. Yeah, but like just a little sassy. He's reactionary AF. Watch the Hart one. The Jennifer and Sarah Hart. Brandon Martin. Nicole Natchman. Five of the world's youngest serial killers. 5 female serial killers. His perspective isn't terrible. His commentary is entertaining, and his coverage leaves himself out for the... Yeah. Yeah, but there's no interrogation? Wait, what do you mean there's no interrogation? The Grant O'Mara case is pretty good. He's not reactionary. My medical insurance denied paying for a medication that my doctor believes will help control my diabetes. My insurance company doesn't think I need it. It's good to know that my insurance company is dictating my medical treatment. Hashtag universal healthcare. Damn, chat is so quick with it. Chat is so fucking quick with it, dude. Thank you for the retort. Oh, because he said the boys should be stabbed to death for their crimes? Yeah, I didn't hear that, but that does seem kind of reactionary. But then again, half the chat wants to throw all the murderers into a volcano, and even sometimes I give up on that too. Did you see Lily Pichu's cute drawing of you? I just saw it, yes, while I was peeing. I said Lil Pichu's so talented, and she drew me in a fursuit, and then people said, you made the head too big. So then she made my head small. And then someone made this. Which, of course, like, thank you for ruining. You know, thank you for ruining a wonderful, kind thing that Lily wanted to do. You're the worst. Waiting for her song. It's like stuck in my head. It's a cartoon. Even chat won't even let me have a normal size head in a cartoon. Even then, it's like, no, you can't have this.
That's where the Mounties were. So I just have holes in my head. And he said, because he said, technically, I shouldn't be walking or talking right now. I should be dead. And he says, just that I'm just tough. I'm physically fit. So maybe even with these cutting my throat, I got in there good and deep. I was working it. And the doctor said that the arteries not, they move around.
Well, I think it's a natural reflex for them to try to move out of the way.
But I got in there good. I was like zigzagging it, and it just still didn't work. Damn it. I'm freakishly strong.
The self-loathing.
2014, a story was published about a man named Jason Padgett who, while leaving a karaoke bar, was attacked and beaten by 2 men. They hit him hard in the back of the head and stole his jacket. The assault was so bad, Padgett was left with a severe concussion, diagnosed with traumatic brain injury and PTSD that would last for years to come. He also began to develop obsessive-compulsive tendencies.
Wait, is this the fucking genius math guy? No, right? This isn't that guy. Is that guy? The guy who, like, became a savant after he got beat up?
One unexpected result of that brutal attack, however, was Jason Padgett became a mathematical genius.
Jason was attacked.
And I didn't see anything coming. I just heard more than felt this thud in the back of my head, and I saw a bright flash of light.
Pre-watched, I mean, literally watched a separate video on this guy. So yes.
The next thing I knew, I was on the ground.
Jason was rushed to the hospital and treated for his injuries.
They gave me this really strong pain medicine shot and sent me home. And I remember on the way home thinking how bizarre everything looked.
When Jason awoke the next morning, his vision was more than blurry.
Everything that was perfectly smooth before, when it moved, had these little tiny edges. It looked like it was choppy, like you were watching an old-fashioned flip book.
Jason would draw what he was seeing, but he could not explain it until a chance encounter with a stranger in a mall.
And he said, hey, I'm a physicist. And he goes, what are you working on there? It looks like you're trying to talk about space-time and the discrete structure of the universe. He goes, but I've never seen anybody do it in layman terms before. Have you ever thought about taking a math class?
From one attack, Jason went from a furniture salesman.
Yeah, he was a furniture salesman with a mullet, and then he became a genius with a square-ass haircut, dude. And guess what? He also didn't know that top of the hour ad breaks were coming at the top of the hour, sometimes 9 minutes before the top of the hour. Just like you didn't either. But you don't need a concussion to predict those. But what you can do is subscribe with a Twitch Prime for free or with a $5 subscription to enjoy an ad-free broadcasting experience. Or you can use an ad block or a VPN to also enjoy an ad-free experience. Here's the ad break now. This is the only way I can like get back at chat, who fucking has been really brutal to me today. Not your finest work, but I'll take it. Thank you. I think maybe the constant segues is like developing this like anti-Hasanabi behavior in the chat. It needs to be addressed, okay? It's not it's $5.99, not $5. Wait, really? Push primes are $6 now? That's crazy. Isn't it kind of crazy that, like, I don't know what it is, but I always feel like time is just like flying by when I'm streaming.
With no real interest in academics to being able to see mathematical equations and geometric patterns in everyday life. He was able to draw almost perfect fractals from memory. It is theorized that due to the severity of the attack and the impact it had on his brain, Padgett developed synesthesia, a cross-wiring of the brain in which the senses get mixed up, which lead to him becoming a savant at mathematics. He eventually wrote a book about his experiences titled, Struck by Genius, How a Brain Injury Made Me a Mathematical Marvel. But why spend the first minute of this video reviewing this case at all? Because if a man can go through a traumatic brain injury and become a savant in mathematics, perhaps altered brain chemistry can cause an individual to act in a more negative way, perhaps making them more prone to violence, more aggressive, less likely to make rational decisions, or more likely to exhibit certain personality disorders. And if that's the case, how does the justice system deal with that individual should a violent crime occur? Enter Kevin Gregson, former Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer. It wasn't long before he turned into an erratic, narcissistic, self-wallowing killer whose lack of self-awareness and inability to see things from any other perspective makes his interrogation a fascinating look into yet another delusional mind.
Like hog on hog violence, dude.